They mocked her at the ATM, but what nobody knew was that by midnight every card that touched that machine would be drained to zero. A black SUV screeched to a halt in front of the corner shop. Tund, the proud son of a wealthy businessman, stepped out like a king returning from battle. His wristwatch gleamed brighter than the streetlight. He spotted a girl by the ATM, barefoot, old wrapper tied around her waist, her bag torn and sagging. He laughed, shaking his head as if life itself had handed him entertainment. "Look at you," he said, his voice dripping with arrogance. "Standing here like you even get bank account. My dear, if you beg small, I fit dash you 1 or 2,000. The girl didn't flinch. Her eyes, sharp like broken glass, rose to his. She whispered something so soft it barely touched the air. "Another one." "What did you say?" Tund barked, his pride itching. "You'll understand soon," she replied. Tund scoffed. He shoved his MasterCard into the slot with a smirk, tapping the keys with extra force, as if to remind her of the power he carried. Cash spilled out. He counted it slowly, deliberately, right in her face. "See," he laughed. "That's how rich people do it. Card day, money day. Just stay watch." The girl tilted her head, whispering again. "Another one." Tund shook his head and climbed into his SUV, driving off with laughter trailing behind him. Later that night, inside a luxury restaurant, Tund's voice filled the hall. "Guy, not only broke people day suffer. I don't even think about money. My papa I get. Not so life sweet." His friends cheered, raising glasses. When the bill arrived, Tund pulled out his shiny card, flashing it like a weapon. He swiped. Declined. He laughed nervously and tried again. Declined. A bead of sweat rolled down his forehead. He pulled out his phone. The bank app loaded slowly, mocking him. His throat went dry. Balance, 0 Nigerian nairas. Tund's scream shattered the night. "What? No. This must be mistake." His friends leaned closer, shocked. "Tund, you day play ABI? How many go vanish like that?" "Wait," another whispered, eyes wide. "You use ATM today?" Tund's heart slammed in his chest. The girl's voice echoed in his head like a curse. "Another one." The next day, a woman in high heels and diamond earrings strutted up to the same ATM. The girl was still there, barefoot, silent, watching. The woman hissed. "Why are you always here? You're blocking people that actually have money." She shoved past, slid her gold card into the slot, collected her cash, and looked back with disdain. "Better find work instead of standing here like ghost." The girl only whispered, "Another one." That night, the woman's scream woke her entire mansion. Her accounts emptied. Not a single kobo left. Fear spread like wildfire. Within a week, 6 wealthy people reported the same fate. All had one thing in common: they had used that same ATM. And each time, the poor girl had been there. Some said she was a witch. Others swore she was cursed. Yet every morning she returned, her old bag over her shoulder, her eyes sharp, waiting. Tund couldn't take it anymore. Guilt, fear, and anger chewed his insides. He dragged his best friend Kunnel to the ATM one night. And there she was, standing like a statue, barefoot on the cracked pavement. "You!" Tund roared, his voice shaking with rage. "You stole my money. Confess before I beat you right here." The girl's eyes lifted slowly to his, calm as water. "I didn't steal your money. You gave it to me yourself." Kunnel blinked, confused. "Wait, what?" "He never gave you anything." Her lips curved faintly. "Every time you push your card in, you give a piece of yourself away. You just don't see it yet?" Tund lunged forward, snatching her bag. He tore it open in desperation. Old notebooks. A bottle of water. A piece of cloth. Nothing more. No cash, no phone, no proof. "Stop playing games with me," Tund shouted. The girl smiled faintly. "Some truths can't be seen until it's too late." Tund shoved the bag back at her chest, trembling. "Witch," he spat. As he stormed off, her whisper followed him like a shadow. "Another one." Tund froze, his breath catching. Kunnel glanced at him nervously. "Guy, let's just go." But Tund couldn't shake the chill crawling up his spine. By the end of that week, a powerful politician, famous for his arrogance, withdrew from the same ATM. That night, his convoy stopped on the highway when he discovered every single naira gone. The city went into chaos. Newspapers screamed headlines. Mysterious ATM theft. Is it witchcraft? Bank under fire. Security guards blamed the bank. Bank officials blamed hackers. But those who had stood at that ATM remembered one thing: the barefoot girl, always watching. The ATM became a hunting ground. Cameras were mounted, policemen stationed nearby, and yet every week someone new screamed into the night that their accounts had been emptied. A crowd gathered one afternoon. The girl stood quietly, barefoot as always, when a man in a security uniform stormed toward her. His name tag read Officer Chike. He shoved her back roughly. "You," he barked. "Every time people lose money, you're here. You think we don't notice?" The girl's eyes didn't move from his face. "If you believe I'm the one, then stop them from using the machine." The officer hesitated, unsure of how to respond. The crowd murmured, some nodding in agreement, others spitting insults at her. "She's a witch," someone shouted. "No, she's using juju," another hissed. "Arrest her." Tund pushed through the crowd, face pale but angry. "Don't waste time. Lock her up. She ruined me. She ruined my life." The girl tilted her head and whispered, just loud enough for him to hear, "Another one." Tund lunged again, but Connell held him back. "Guy, calm down. You go end up in cell," Connell hissed. But before anything else could happen, an elderly man in rags shuffled forward. His beard was white, his eyes sunken. He looked straight at the girl and asked, "How long do you plan to keep feeding?" The girl blinked slowly. "Until they learn." The crowd gasped. Chike grabbed her arm roughly, but before he could drag her away, a woman screamed behind them. "My alert! Oh my God, my alert!" She waved her phone in the air, trembling. "All my money is gone. Just now. Just now." Every eye turned toward the ATM. The woman had just used it moments ago, right in front of them all. The crowd went silent. The girl's calm whisper cut through the air, "Another one." Chike froze. His grip loosened. The girl stepped back, clutching her bag, and melted into the crowd. That night, Tund sat in Connell's room, pacing like a trapped animal. "Guy, I swear, I'm losing my mind. If she no get device, no laptop, no anything, then how is she doing it?" Connell shook his head. "Maybe it's inside the ATM itself. Maybe she planted something." "But when?" Tund snapped. "She's always there, standing like a beggar. Who goes suspect she get that kind brain?" Connell leaned forward. "Then maybe she's not poor. Maybe the whole thing, wrapper, barefoot, torn bag, maybe it's disguise." Tund froze. The memory of her sharp eyes hit him. That calm way she watched, like she was never really begging at all. By the next morning, the story hit national news. A famous TV anchor reported with urgency. Another high-profile victim has been robbed. Senator Balogun lost millions of naira after using the notorious ATM near Ojulegba. Police investigations remain inconclusive. Meanwhile, residents insist a mysterious barefoot girl is always present. Is she a witch? Or something more dangerous? The senator's fury shook the state. Convoys stormed the area. Policemen blocked off the ATM. Cameras flashed as journalists pointed their mics at the girl, who still stood calmly as if nothing had changed. "Who are you?" one journalist demanded. "Are you the thief?" another shouted. The girl only looked into the lens of a camera and said, "Be careful where you slide your card. The hands watching are smarter than you think." The clip went viral. That evening, at a private gathering, wealthy elites whispered among themselves. They mocked her in their fine clothes, but fear darkened their voices. Can you imagine? A barefoot beggar draining senators. Impossible. Must be inside job at the bank. No, I heard she has juju. How else? Laughter mixed with fear. Tund was there, bitter and hollow. He raised his glass and said, "Mock her if you want. I mocked her too. Now I can't even buy fuel. Laugh while you can. By tomorrow, it might be you." The room fell silent. 2 nights later, Kunnel received a frantic call from Tund. "Kunnel, I saw her again. But this time," his voice shook, "she wasn't barefoot." "What do you mean?" Kunnel asked. "She wore sneakers. New ones. And a clean bag. Guy, she's not poor at all. She's pretending." Kunnel's blood ran cold. "Where are you now?" "I'm following her," Tund whispered. The line went dead. Tund trailed her through dark streets, heart pounding. She walked quickly, her old wrapper now tied neatly, her steps too confident for a beggar. He followed her into a narrow alley, shadows swallowing the sound of her sandals. Suddenly she stopped. Without turning, she said, "You shouldn't have followed me." Tund froze. "Who are you?" he demanded. She turned slowly, eyes glinting. "Someone who understands your greed better than you understand it yourself." "You're a thief." Tund spat. Her lips curved into a smile. "And you're a fool. You thought money made you untouchable. You thought people like me were invisible. That's why you never looked closely when I watched your fingers press your pin. That's why you never noticed the way I touched the slot before you used it. Pride blinded you." Tund's throat tightened. His mind raced back to that night. The way she whispered, the way her hand brushed the machine before he inserted his card. "You set me up," his voice cracked. Her smile widened. "Not just you. All of you. Another one, until the lesson is learned." Tund staggered backward, his pulse racing. The girl's words echoed like knives. "That's why you never noticed the way I touched the slot before you used it." He stammered, "So, it's you. It's really you." Her eyes burned in the shadows. "It's not about me, Tund. It's about all of you. The rich who mock, the careless who brag, the greedy who never look around before flashing their cards. You gave me the door. I only walked in." Tund's voice cracked. "But why me? I had nothing to do with you." The girl stepped closer. "Do you remember the night you spilled drink on me? The night you laughed, called me dirty, told your friends I wasn't human enough to sit near you?" Tund's memory slammed into him. That party. That humiliation. He had laughed so loudly. He thought she had disappeared. He never thought she remembered. "You ruined me," he whispered. "No," she said softly, almost kindly. "I only showed you who you already were." Then she turned and vanished into the darkness, leaving Tund trembling in the alley, his phone buzzing with fresh alerts. Another withdrawal, another empty account. By the next week, Lagos was in chaos. Politicians shouted on TV, banks released confusing statements, pastors warned of witchcraft, and still the girl's face, barefoot in some clips, well-dressed in others, circulated everywhere. At markets, women gossiped. "At night she wears gold, I swear." "No, she's not human. She's spirit." "Shut up. My neighbors saw her take Uber." Everyone had a story, and no two were alike. Kunnel sat glued to the news, his palms sweaty. Tund hadn't been the same since that night in the alley. His laughter was gone. His eyes were haunted. He barely spoke anymore. But then, one evening, Kunnel himself received a text alert. 400,000 Nigerian nairas withdrawn. He froze. His heart nearly stopped. He hadn't even used his card that day. He dropped to the floor, hands shaking. A whisper filled his head. Another one. The government moved in. Armed security swarmed the ATM. Men in suits carried laptops, scanning every inch. They shut down the entire network in that area, blaming technical issues. Yet the very next day, a famous pastor cried on live TV, "She took my account. She took it in front of my driver." I prayed, I fasted, but the alerts still came. Now the fear wasn't local. It was everywhere. The barefoot girl had become a ghost that haunted every card swipe in the country. One night, in a glittering hall filled with chandeliers, the richest families gathered. They were tired of losing money. They wanted her caught. "She's mocking us," one tycoon growled. "She's dismantling us," another hissed. "Then buy her off," a third whispered. "Everyone has a price." The hall grew silent when the doors opened. And there she was. The barefoot girl, except tonight, she wasn't barefoot. She wore a flowing gown, her hair braided with gold, and her eyes carried the same calm fire. Gasps filled the room. Some shouted. Some stepped back. But she walked straight to the center as if she owned the place. "You called me here," she said, her voice steady. "So listen well. You call me thief, yet I only use what you left exposed. You laugh at the poor, yet it is your pride that makes you blind. You guard your cars with bodyguards, your houses with gates, your wrists with gold, yet you give me your card in public, open, careless, believing nobody dares touch you. And then you blame me." A senator slammed the table. "Nonsense. You bewitched us." She smiled faintly. "No. I only touched the slot before you. That's all it takes." The room erupted. Some demanded her arrest. Others whispered in terror. But before any guard could move, the lights flickered, and everyone's phones buzzed at once. Every single person in that hall had just received a debit alert. The screams were deafening. By dawn, the city was on fire with rumors. Some swore she was arrested. Some swore she turned into dust. Some swore she had boarded a plane to London with millions. Nobody knew the truth. But what everyone knew was this. No one dared use a public ATM again. No one dared swipe carelessly in a crowded place. No one ignored who stood too close. And her whisper lingered everywhere. "Another one, another one." Weeks later, a quiet investigation leaked. Hidden cameras revealed the truth. The girl never hacked the system. She never had laptops or magic. She had only one weapon: patience. She watched every hand that typed a PIN. She memorized digits like poetry. She slipped a tiny, invisible skimmer, a thin plastic shell, over the slot before anyone noticed. And when they walked away, she already had everything she needed. It wasn't witchcraft. It wasn't mystery. It was human carelessness, wrapped in the arrogance of thinking, "It could never happen to me." The story ended, not with her capture, but with her legend. Some called her criminal. Some called her genius. Some called her justice. But every time a finger hovered over an ATM, someone always whispered the warning to themselves. "Be careful. Someone may be watching." Another one. If you enjoyed this, show some love in the comments and tell me your country. Subscribe for more gripping stories and hit the bell to always be the first to watch.